Okay, our first project is going to be making a Christmas themed arrangement. You're going to need a can. You can just use any can that maybe you like to eat green beans or something. Well, empty the green beans out, eat them, and use the can. And you can spray paint the can if you'd like. It's not necessary. And you're going to want to fill it with some dirt. And the first thing we're going to do after the dirt is in there is we're going to wrap some of this twine around. This time we're going to make a clay snowflake ornament. You can use Sculpey clay or any other kind of oven bake clay. Just roll it out with a rolling pin, or if you're going to do one at a time, just press out a piece of it until it's thin. You can kind of see how thick that is. And then we're going to cut it with our Snowflake cookie cutter. Just push that down. You can do all kinds of shapes and designs. All right, there's our snowflake, but we're gonna do more. We need to make a hole to hang it with. Just gonna use a straw. And there's our hole. Now we're gonna decorate it up a little bit. We're gonna do something fun with it. I just took 3 crayons, dark blue, a medium blue, and kind of a yellow orange. And I just used a grater and just grated it. And we got these pieces of crayon that we're gonna put on our ornament. Now you can make anything you want out of that clay. You need to make some figure or something out of clay for one of the requirements for the Handicraft Award. But this I thought looked fun. All right, isn't that a pretty mix of colors? Now let's see if I can pick some up and sprinkle it on. Maybe I should do it this other way. Sprinkle it on. You could also put it on before you rolled it, if you did a rolling pin or something. I want some out here. And I'm just going to push it into there. I want some over here. Some up here on the top. Spread it around. Okay. Now we're just going to follow the directions on the bag, and it says to bake it at 275 degrees for 15 minutes for each 1/4 inch of thickness. So that's about 1/4 inch. So we're going to bake it for 15 minutes at 275. And we're going to go wash our hands. Make sure you don't touch it when it's hot. Let it cool before you put your tie on. All right, we're gonna go put it in the oven. Go. Okay, now we're gonna make a string star ornament. You can get a cereal box or some plain white poster board. Use a cookie cutter, put it on, and trace around it. And then we're gonna cut it out and punch a hole with a hole punch in one corner. Because it's got print on one side, you would want to have 2 and glue them back to back. Well, I didn't have more, but I did have this white, so I'm going to cut this out and glue those 2 back to back. That's the first stage of our project. Okay, cut. Go. Now we're going to use this chunky yarn. Came from Dollar Tree. You can get it at craft stores, Walmart. And we're just going to hold this down like this and start around. That holds it down so it's not going to go away. And we're going to do a few strings on this, and then we're going to go back and do a few on the next one. And then we're going to come back and do a few around the next one. And a few around that one. Let me get a little closer together there. All right, now we're going to do some back and forth stuff. Around like that, then come around like this. We can switch and go over to here. Kind of make a pattern if you want. Just keep going until you like the look of it, or you run out. I kind of like the look of that. You might want to look at the back side, see what that looks like too. Well, I think I've gone far enough, so I want to finish it off. And I think I'm going to finish it off on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors, or you could use a needle, and I'm going to just kind of poke it underneath and keep poking it and use my fingers. Keep poking it through. And that just kind of anchors it, and you can cut it off. Now you can use that same bit of string, or if you used it all up, cut a different one. We're going to put this through the hole. Put the two together. And then take your finger and go around like this. And then you're going to put that part through the hole, up through the hole. Whoops. Pull the ends through and tighten it. Now you have a knot. And now you can hang it on your tree. Shall we go hang it on our tree? Let's go. Go. Okay, we're going to make a pinecone owl. I've got a nice sized pine cone that we found out in the woods, and a bunch of cotton balls, and a couple of eyes, and you could use some white felt and a marker to add some wings, but we're just going to do it simple. So just take that cotton ball and just kind of tear it into pieces and stick the pieces in the pine cone. Make him all fuzzy looking. We're going to try using the E6000. It's pretty strong glue, but if that doesn't work, we have a glue gun. Make sure you get a mom or dad to help you with the glue gun because they are hot and you don't want to burn yourself. We're going to try this. It's a very sticky glue, which is what we need. I think we're going to need the glue gun too. Just a little. All right, we're going to use both because I think it's going to stick better with both. All right, now we're going to go around with this one and put a bunch on, since we learned from the last one that a bunch is going to help. And we're going to stick that on there. And pull all these glue strings away. Okay. You could cut out some felt wings out of white felt and just mark some lines on it, but he's kind of cute, isn't he? there's our Pinecone Owl. All right, now we're going to make a seashell ornament. This is a plastic ornament from a craft store. And this is just some sand from the beach. And I'm going to put in some sand into our ornament. Okay, need a little more. A lot of it's not going in. You might use a funnel, that would make it easier probably to get it in. A little bit more. That's pretty good. Now, I need to dust that off a little bit. I should have had a paper towel so you could see. All right, now we're going to try and put in a few seashells. They're pretty easy to find, but some of them look really interesting. There's another cute shell. I think he might be missing the end. Let's see, how about this? It looks kind of like a button. What other kinds of shells have we? I'll find a couple more. Maybe some of these scallop shells would be nice to put in. I think. Not too bad. So we're going to put the top back on. And then we're going to do something. We're going to put glue around, all the way around this part. Kind of 2 rows of glue. You want to get down the bottom too. And then we're going to put some of this around. Just gives a nice added touch. I'm going to leave some long because I want to tie a little bow. I'm going to wrap it around, kind of like we did for our flower arrangement. Several there. And now I'm going to tie. I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to tie a little bow. It's just not cooperating. Sliding all around. You might need some help. Somebody to hold it. All right, now we're going to tie a bow. If you haven't learned to tie a bow yet, you might need to get some help with that. This would be some good practice. I want my bow a little tinier, so I'm going to pull this out a little bit, these ends. And then I'm going to cut the end, and cut that end. And now we need a hanger. So we need another piece. And that part is pretty skinny, so I'm going to cut it off because I don't think that's going to hold very good. This is jute twine. It's called jute. So I'm going to make a nice long tie. I'm going to do the same thing as we did for our snowflake ornament. Put this through, bring up the 2 ends, and then wrap it around your finger and put the end back up through the hole and tighten it so you have a knot. And then you can cut it short. And there we go. We have a cute little seashell ornament. Shall we hang that one on the tree too? All right, let's go.
Action.
Okay, we're going to make our birdseed ornament. And first we've got to make some glue. This is glue that birds can eat. It's made with our gelatin, unflavored gelatin, 1 package and 1/2 cup of water. It's already boiling, so I'm going to pour this in and stir it till it's dissolved real well. And that looks like it's pretty well dissolved. It's almost clear. And then we're going to add our corn syrup, 3 tablespoons of corn syrup. This gives the birds a lot of nutrition too, besides holding it together. All right, that mess out of the way. And we're going to let that melt real good. We're going to boil this for just a little bit. Turn that back on. And you really want to let it boil for a little bit until it gets a little bit thicker. But for what we're doing, we're not going to be hanging it, and the birdseed isn't needing to hold together real well. So we're going to skip on to the next step. So I'm going to turn that off, and we're going to go ahead and put our flour in. And this is 3/4 cup of flour. Something different for that part. Now if it gets a little thick like this is, it's a little too thick, you can add some more water. Because you do want it to be something that you can kind of spread. Okay, I think it actually needed a whole cup of water instead of 1/2 cup of water. I hadn't done this before, so I wasn't totally sure, hadn't practiced it. But it needs to be the consistency about of a thick pudding. So it could use the full amount of flour, and probably a cup of water would be better than the 1/2 cup. And then just do it thick enough to, thick enough to be like pudding, and mix it well enough to get most of the lumps out. You don't have to be completely exact. Now we're going to go put this on our tree shape. You want me to start? Go. Okay, now we're going to put our glue, our bird glue, on our shape. Now there's several different things you can do with this. I'll show you an option later, but what we're doing is very simple. We just traced a design of a tree. You could do a star, whatever you would like. You can just do it freehand, or you can cut out something that you print from online. And we're just going to put some of this. It doesn't take very much. We're going to put that on there, and I've got an old paintbrush I'm going to use to kind of spread it around, and I still have lumps, it looks like. That'll be okay. I'm just going to spread it around in that shape. You can use a craft stick or whatever. Okay. Now, there's 2 things you could do. You could just take these pumpkin seeds, they're also called pepitas, and you could just dump it on there. That would be quick and easy, and it would look good. Or you can take pepitas if you want to make a really cute design, and you can start placing them like this all across the bottom. And then you could do another layer in between just to make it look a little fancier, and like the branches naturally on a tree kind of cover each other. I'm just going to go up on this part so you can get an idea of what we're talking about. I like to use some of these bigger ones. Here's a little one for the corner. You can keep going that way, or you can just dump them. Whatever you like. Want to speed it?
Can you lift it up so I can see what you're doing?
This gives you an idea of what it would look like that way. Now this can take a while. It depends on how much time you have, which way you want to do it.
Should I cut?
Go. Okay, now we're going to just decorate our tree a little bit. See? I'm going to dip one of these dried cranberries in some of that glue stuff and just stick it on. You don't have to do this, but we're just playing. We're having fun, and the birds will like it. They like these berries. Let's find another nice piece. Not too many, just a few. Maybe we need one more. Okay, now this one we can't very well hang. I'm probably going to just take it and stick it into the tree. Just in where the branches are reaching out, I'm just going to lay it down there. But you can see what it looks like. We're just having some fun with the design. The birds wouldn't care what it looked like, but you can play with it. But I am going to show you one other thing that you can hang, a birdseed ornament that you can hang. You could use regular birdseed that has millet and stuff like that, or I don't have any of that, so we're going to use the things that we have here and some sunflower seeds. Basically, we're going to stir the birdseed into here real thick. And we're going to put some sunflower seeds. Birds like a lot of different kinds, and each bird has its favorite. Some of the smaller songbirds like things like millet, the tinier seeds, but they all seem to really like sunflower seeds. All right, that is starting to get thick. You don't want it so thin that it falls off of what you've coated it with it. Let's put more sunflower seeds. They really like that. I don't think this is what you want to eat for supper, but the birds will be happy. Okay. You can use this, or you could even put peanut butter on a toilet paper roll. We're going to try rolling it in this, and that's not working really well. So we're going to try it this way. Smaller seeds work better for this particular project. Okay, you can see the big seeds are not working real well. Small seeds would be better. It's not sticking to that very well, but we've got the idea anyway. We can play around with it. And then you can let it dry a little bit and then put a string through here and tie a knot in it and then hang it from the tree. Hi, do you remember at the beginning when we talked about being creative and how God made our world and He made it beautiful, but how sin came in? Remember, we had some pictures. There are broken people. There's broken nature. Oh, there's broken nature. Poison was not God's plan. And there's broken houses, broken things. But when Jesus comes again, he's going to make all things new. Remember our memory verse? Revelation 21:5 says, "Behold, I am making all things new." That will be really special. He's going to wipe away all tears. All that old crusty junk will be gone. No more broken people. They'll be all whole and complete. No more poisonous snakes. There'll be snakes, but we'll be enjoying them. They won't be poisonous. They won't hurt us. There's going to be everything beautiful. The flowers won't die. That'll be pretty awesome. God's going to take even the very worst things in our lives now, and he's going to make them beautiful. Jesus was born, and he lived, and he died to make that possible for you and for me. Let's ask Jesus to live in our hearts today so that we can be made new, and we can live with him in that new heaven and new earth. Remember to say your memory verse. Behold, I am making all things new. Revelation 21:5. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next time. Bye.